The cognitive approach focuses on internal mental processes such as memory, perception, and decision-making. It assumes that these processes can and should be studied scientifically. In this evaluation, I'll outline several strengths and weaknesses of the approach, using relevant research and applications to support each point. One strength of the cognitive approach is that it employs rigorous scientific methods. Research is often conducted under highly controlled laboratory conditions, which allows for the collection of objective and reliable data. For example, Loftus and Palmer's study from 1974 into the effects of misleading questions on eyewitness testimony used an experimental method. They manipulated the wording of questions to establish a cause and effect relationship between verb choice and memory recall. Such research really supports the credibility of the cognitive approach, as it is based on empirical evidence rather than speculation. Another advantage is the development of effective real-world applications. Insights from the cognitive approach have informed therapeutic techniques such as cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. CBT is grounded in the idea that maladaptive behaviors stem from faulty thought patterns, and it works to restructure these cognitions. It is widely used to treat depression, anxiety, and other mental health conditions. For example, Cahill and colleagues in 2003 found that 71% of patients who completed their CBT sessions experienced a significant reduction in symptoms. This really demonstrates how the cognitive approach has contributed to improving quality of life and provides evidence of its usefulness beyond academic settings. Another strength of the cognitive approach is that it can be seen as interactionist, recognizing that mental processes are influenced by both nature and nurture. For example, the concept of schemas shows how mental processes are influenced by nurture, since schema development is shaped by our life experiences. But there is also evidence that some cognitive structures may be innate, like memory stores. This ability to incorporate multiple influences gives the approach a degree of flexibility compared to other approaches that might take a more one-sided perspective. A key limitation of the cognitive approach is that it can be criticized for being reductionist. It often simplifies complex human behaviors to basic information processing models, neglecting other important influences such as emotion and social context. For instance, the multi-store model of memory likens the human mind to a computer, focusing on input, storage, and retrieval. While this is useful, this form of machine reductionism fails to capture the richness of human experience, especially how factors like mood can influence memory. The cognitive approach is often described as adopting a position of soft determinism. It proposes that our thoughts and behaviors are partly determined by internal cognitive processes and past experiences. But it also acknowledges that individuals have the capacity for free will and conscious choice. This can be illustrated through cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. According to the cognitive model, individuals experiencing depression often have automatic negative thoughts that arise without conscious control, such as, "I'm worthless," or "nothing will ever improve." These thought patterns can be seen as determined by past experiences and existing cognitive schemas. However, through the CBT process, clients are encouraged to identify, challenge, and replace these thoughts with more rational alternatives. This really demonstrates that while our thinking may initially be determined, we also have the free will to change it through conscious effort and reflection. This soft determinist position can be considered a strength because it presents a balanced and realistic view of human behavior, recognizing both the constraints of cognitive processes and the individual's ability to exercise choice. It also aligns well with therapeutic interventions, showing how psychological research can lead to effective treatments. However, it can also be considered a weakness, because by acknowledging both determinism and free will, the approach may appear less scientifically precise. Predicting behavior becomes more difficult if it is only partly determined, which can limit the approach's ability to generate consistently testable hypotheses. In conclusion, the cognitive approach has made a significant contribution to psychology through its scientific methodology, practical applications, and consideration of both nature and nurture. However, its tendency towards reductionism and soft determinism means that it provides only a partial explanation of human behavior. A more complete understanding is likely to come from integrating the cognitive approach with other perspectives, such as the biological and social approaches. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more psychology content.